Hello and welcome to the explanation of Act 1, Scene 3 of Julius Caesar. So before we go into the detailed explanation, first let's see the gist of what happens in this scene. So in this scene, Cicero and Casca are discussing the unusual events that are taking place in Rome. As Cicero leaves, Cassius and Casca have a conversation, and Cassius hints that there is a Roman who has grown to be as frightening as the strange happening. Cassius tries to convince Casca about how powerful Caesar has become. And finally, Casca accepts to join the conspiracy against Caesar. Meanwhile, Cinna throws the letters to convince Brutus, and Cassius and Casca decide to go to Brutus's home to completely convince him. And finally, everyone decides to meet at Pompey's porch. So now let's go into the detailed explanation. So in the beginning of the scene, there is thunder and lightning, and Cicero says, "Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? So have you brought Caesar home? Why are you breathless and why stare you so? So why are you breathless, out of breath, and what are you staring at?" So Casca says, "Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks." So Casca is saying, "Are you not scared when the entire earth is shaking like it is unstable?" And he says, "Oh Cicero, I have seen a lot of storms. Storms mean tempests. I've seen a lot of storms where there has been harsh winds that have rived means split open the knotty oak trees." So he's saying, "I have seen such extreme climate, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage." So I've seen the ocean become rough, where it is swelling and angry and it's foaming, to be exalted with the threatening clouds. So exalted means elevated. So it has been elevated along with the threatening clouds. But never till today, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. So until now, I have never seen a storm where fire is being dropped. Either there is a civil strife in heaven. So this he's saying, either there is a civil war that is happening in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods. That means the world is saucy means does not respect. So the world is not respecting the gods and incesses them to send destruction. So is provoking them to send destruction. So Casca saying he's seen extreme weather conditions but never like this. So Cicero asks, "Why? Saw you anything more wonderful? So have you seen anything really strange?" So Casca says, "A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hands, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched." So you know this common slave, his left hand was burning like 20 torches had joined together, or 20 torches combined, and yet his hand was not burned. "Besides, I have not since put up my sword." So he's saying, after this incident, I have not sheathed my sword. I have always kept it out. "Against the Capitol, I met a lion, who gazed upon me and went surely by without annoying me." So he's saying it was very strange when near the Capitol I met a lion who just looked at me and went by without hurting me. "And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women." Ghastly means who are horrified or terrified, "transformed their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets." So there were around 100 women who were terrified that they saw nearly, they saw many men who were in flames and they were walking down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night. So bird of night is the owl. Did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace. So it is a very strange sight when an owl is wide awake during the day, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say. So when such prodigies means unnatural events happen together, let not men say. These are their reasons, they are natural. So let them not say that these are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon. So he says, let men not say these are natural because these are inauspicious events that are happening at a particular region. So Cicero agrees. Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. So it is a strange time. But men may construe things after their fashion. So he's saying men can interpret things according to their own way of thinking, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. They're saying it depends on the thinking of a particular person and it can be completely different from what is really happening. Comes Caesar to the capital tomorrow? Is Caesar going to come to the capital tomorrow? So Casca says, he doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow. So he has told Antonius to tell you that he will be there tomorrow. So Cicero says, good night then Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in. Let's not walk in such a situation. Farewell Cicero. And Cicero exits, and that is when Cassius enters. So Cassius says, who's there? So Casca says, a Roman. So Cassius recognizes and says, Casca, I can recognize you by your voice. So Casca says, your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this? So Cassius says, a very pleasing night to honest men. So Casca says, whoever knew the heavens menace so? So who has ever seen the heavens being so dangerous or perilous? So Cassius says, those that have known the earth so full of fault, so those who know that how bad things are on earth, such people will know that why is it dangerous. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night. So what I have done is I have walked on the streets and I have submitted myself into the dangerous night. And thus unbraced Casca as you see. That means I am not protected, I am not wearing my armor. Have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. So he's saying I have bared my chest to the thunder and lightning. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and very flash of it. So he says, when I saw the blue lightning strike, I went and presented myself exactly in the place where I feel the lightning would strike. So I hope so much is clear. Let's move forward. Casca says, but wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? But why are you tempting the heavens like this? It is the part of men to fear and tremble. He's saying that it is our role as men to fear and get scared when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us. So he's saying that we are supposed to get scared and tremble when God is sending such warning signs to scare us. Cassius says, you are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman, you do want. That means he's saying, Casca, you're so dull. That spark of life that should be inside every Roman, you lack it. Or else you use not. Maybe you have it, but you don't use it. So he says, you look pale and gaze. Gaze means stare. And put on fear, so you are scared. and cast yourself in wonder, and you start to wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. So you are in actually awe of such situations that are happening in the heaven. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind? So he's saying that have you ever tried to consider the real reason why there are fires everywhere, there are ghosts moving about, why birds and beasts are not acting according to their natural or innate quality? Why old men, fools, and children calculate? Calculate means make predictions. Why all these things change from their ordinance? So, why all these things are changing from what they were? Their natures and preformed faculties. Preformed faculties means innate qualities, the natural qualities. Why are they going away from such natural qualities of them? So innate qualities means the qualities that we are inborn with. To monstrous quality, why you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. So he is saying the heaven is actually giving a warning that something disastrous or dangerous event is going to occur. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. So he's saying, can I name a person who is just as dreadful as all these events that have taken place? A man no mightier than thyself or me. So this person is not stronger or actually mightier than you or me in personal action, yet prodigiously grown. So he's saying in action he is not mightier than you or me, but he has grown as huge and fearful as these strange eruptions are. So this person is not more capable than you or me, but he has grown so huge and frightening, just like the situation that we are seeing today. Casca says, it's Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius? Casca's understood that he's talking about Caesar. So Cassius says, let it be who it is. So I'm not going to exactly answer saying it is Caesar. For Romans now have thews and limbs like their ancestors. So he's saying Romans that are present now, they have strength. Thews means muscles. So they have the muscles and strength like their ancestors, but who the while our fathers' minds are dead. But unfortunately, our fathers' way of thinking, like their minds, that is dead. And we are governed with our mother spirit. So he's saying we are controlled with our mother spirit. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish. That means our the way we are now submitting to everything and suffering in silence shows that we've become womanish. So here Cassius is actually portraying women in a weak manner, saying, they suffer in silence and endure much. And he's saying the Romans have now become like that. Casca says, indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as king. So tomorrow, the senators are going to crown Caesar the king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land. So he's going to rule everywhere, whether sea and land, in every place save here in Italy. So in every place except in Italy. So Cassius says, I know where I will wear this dagger then. So he's saying, I know where I will keep this sword then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. So he's saying, I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to kill myself. Therein, you gods, you make the weak most strong. So through suicide, the God is making the weak strong. Therein, you gods, you tyrants do defeat. So that is the way we are going to allow the tyrants to be defeated. because when we die, nor nor stony towers, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeons, nor strong links of iron. So he's saying when we die, we cannot be confined in stony towers, or put us in brass walls, or they can't put us in an airless dungeon or chain us with iron. Can be retentive to the strength of spirit. So that means can contain or control the spirit. But life being weary of these worldly bars. So if a person becomes tired of these imprisonments that are happening to them, never lack power to dismiss itself. So you can always kill yourself. If I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure. So he's saying that I can shake off this tyranny whenever I want to choose it, like by killing myself. Saying nobody can confine me or chain me in tyranny. So Casca says, I can also do that. So every bondman in his own hands bear the power to cancel his captivity. So every person has the opportunity to come out of imprisonment which is in his own hands. Then Cassius asks, why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man, I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He's saying he sees the Romans as sheep. That is why he is becoming a wolf. Poor thing. So he is talking in a very sarcastic manner. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. Hinds mean deer. So he is saying if Romans were not deer, then he would not have become a lion. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. Okay, so he's saying those who want to make a mighty, huge fire fast will first start with weak straws. So he says, what trash is Rome, what rubbish and what awful when it serves for the base matter to illuminate. So vile a thing as Caesar. So he's saying Rome has become a trash with rubbish and waste. Awful is waste. When it serves the base matter for such a dangerous man like Caesar. So he's saying we are becoming like Rome is becoming like a fuel for him to illuminate. So here vile means bad. But oh grief, what hast thou led me? Oh, what have I done? What have you led me to? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Oh my God, what have I done? Maybe I'm speaking this in front of a willing bondman. Then I know my answers must be made. Then I know that my responses should be careful. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent, and I am ready to face danger. So we can see here how Cassius is a very sly orator. He's trying to convince people to be against Caesar. Casca says, you are speaking to Casca, and to such a man there is no fleering telltale. So he's saying, I am not a tattletale. I will not go behind your word. I will not betray you. Hold my hand. So he is giving his word that he is going to join the conspiracy, and they shake hands. Be factious for redress of all these griefs. So he's saying that I'm going to be active and I'm going to correct all these mistakes or rectify these mistakes that have been made. And I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest. So he's saying I am going ready to go to any extent to correct our grievances or mistakes. Cassius says, there's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans. So he said, I have already convinced some of the very noble Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. So I have already convinced certain people to take a dangerous step. And I do know by this that they stay for me in Pompey's porch, so they're waiting for me at Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the street. So in this fearful night, there isn't anyone walking on the streets, and the complexion of the element in favor, like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. So he's saying that the work that we have left to do is very bloody, fiery, and terrible, which is the assassination of Caesar. Casca says, stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. Oh, wait, someone is coming in a hurry. So Cassius says, it's Cinna. I know him by his gait, means the way how he walks. He's a friend. Cinna, where haste you so? Where are you going in such a hurry? Cinna says, to find you out. Who's that? Is it Metellus Cimber? So Cassius says, no, it's Casca, one incorporate, means a person who has been added in the conspiracy. To our attempts, am I not stayed for Cinna? So he says, am I not expected Cinna? So he says, I am glad on it. What a fearful night it is. There's 2 or 3 of us that have seen strange sights today. So Cassius says, am I not stayed for? Tell me. So he's saying, am I not expected? So Cinna says, yes, you are, O Cassius, if you could, but win the noble Brutus to our party. So he's saying that you are welcome, but you are expected. But if you could just convince Brutus to join our conspiracy. So Cassius says, be you content, don't worry, good Cinna, take this paper and look you lay it in the praetor's chair. Praetor means magistrate's chair. That is the chair where Brutus sits in his office, where Brutus may but find it. So a place where Brutus could find it. And then he gives him another paper and says, throw this in at his window and set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. So here is another one. Stick it with wax and stick it upon old Brutus's statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch. So once you have done all this, go to Pompey's porch where you shall find us. Is Decius, Brutus and Trebonius there? So Cinna says all are there except for Metellus Cimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house, to call you at your house. Well, I will hie and so bestow this paper as you bade me. So he's saying, I will hurry and put these papers as you told me. So he says, okay, after that, come to Pompey's theatre. Come, Casca, you and I will yet your day see Brutus at his house. So come, Casca, you and I will go to Brutus's house. 3 parts of him is ours already. So he's saying he's 3/4 convinced to join the conspiracy, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours. So the next time we meet him and talk to him, he will be fully convinced. Casca says, oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts. All the people love him and appreciate him. And that which would appear offense in us. So if we do something that would appear as offensive, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change the virtue and to worthiness. So he's saying, when he joins the conspiracy, his company will make like how an alchemist turns a worthless tin into gold. So it will change our virtue from something bad to something worthy. Him and his worth and our great need of him. You have right well conceited. So Cassius is saying, yes, you are absolutely right. How important Brutus is to us and we need him. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him. So it's already midnight and we want him on our side before it becomes morning. So this part of what Casca is saying about all the strange events that happened, so this part is important. You should remember all the strange sights. This is again an important part where he's comparing Caesar to a wolf and the Romans to a sheep. Also pay attention to what was told about Brutus and how When Brutus joins the conspiracy, what is going to happen? Okay, so that was end of Act 1, Scene 3. So study well, all the very best, and God bless you.